guys on two screens now. I got you over here and over here, so I can look at you from both directions. Hi, Sam. I see your face. Good to see you. Okay, Sam and Ann, we need a yoga block and a blanket if you've got those handy. All right, and then we're going to start seated on our butts, but with our knees in a bent position. So just come down onto the ground, sit on your butt. And here's where I'm going to say, I'll turn both ways, but if you have a blanket folded up, you can sit on it and it just gives this nice little cushion for the tush. So I'm going to turn sideways to keep the flow going. But so sit into that nice little bent knee position, and we're just gonna hold onto our knees and then just take a couple little mini cat cows here. So just kind of barely lift your chest, like you're lifting your chest like an inch, and then round your back, but just barely, so you feel your hands connected to your knees. Lift your chest just a little bit, hold onto your knees, and then just round back just slightly. And then one more like that. Lift your chest just a little bit, round back just slightly, and then you're going to step your feet to a place that feels really good so that you can kind of make some space for your belly and your chest, and you're just going to kind of round over your shape. So I've got a nice about shoulder width distance apart, good amount of space, and then just let your belly and chest rest there, and then let your head get soft and heavy. And as you take a few moments here just to kind of settle into the breath, notice the back of your body. Notice the space between your shoulder blades. Get a sense of where your rib cage is, and then see if you can just take a breath and feel that bit of movement in your back ribs. And then let your awareness wrap around to the front of your body. So maybe notice your belly and go even a little bit further. So think the bottom line of your belly where your hip crease and your belly meet, and see if you can tune into that space right there and take a nice big breath. And then let your awareness travel down to your feet and notice if you're holding any tension in your toes, gripping in your toes, gripping in your feet. Give your toes a little mush, a little wiggle, and then just let your toes and the tops of your feet get nice and soft and heavy. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, slowly walk your hands up your shins, moving back up to that more upright position. And then you're going to step your heels a little closer to your body so that you can start some mini windshield wipers. So you're going to start by dropping the knees just a little bit side to side. But as you do that, can you tune into that hip crease, like where your front hip pocket would be? And then just notice that space for a moment. Let your hands be wherever works the best for you, something that's comfortable. And then we're going to take this movement and we're going to go a little bit further. So as you drop your knees over to the right, roll over onto the right side of your hip, and then pull it all back to center, and then take it to the other side, roll over onto your left hip, and then take that a few times side to side. And I find sometimes here, if I've got that blanket under my butt, somehow with this windshield wipers, my bottom wants to scooch all the way to the front of the mat. So you might have to readjust yourself a few times to stay in a comfortable position. Cool. And then the next time you come over to the right, stay there. And then we're going to think about rolling around onto that hip and then taking a little twist. So you're going to let your maybe hand find the top of the thigh, rotate slightly, and think upright chest, look over your back shoulder, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then we'll take that and release all the way over to the other side. So we're going to roll over and across, readjust so that you're onto the side of your left glute. And then once you're there, a little rotation. So maybe your hand finds the top of the thigh. Maybe you look over your back shoulder, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, come back to center, rearrange your butt so that your legs can come out in front of you with a bit of a softness to the knees, and you could kind of move your ankles, move your toes, and then do just that. Wiggle your toes, move your ankles just a little bit, get a sense of how your feet feel. And especially if you wore shoes all day, really give those toes a good amount of wiggling around. Nice. And then let your left leg get soft and heavy. And we're going to take 3 pulls of the right knee. So you're just going to drag your heel, pull the right knee up toward your chest, and then slide it out long. Drag your heel, pull the knee in, and slide your leg out nice and long. Awesome. And then maybe you tune in and notice that hip crease there, drag it in, slide it out long, give your heels a little swish, and then we'll take that to the other side. So we're going to slide the left heel in, and then push the heel out, slide the heel in, and push it out. And then just do that one more time. Slide it in, and then push it out. Nice. And then find a seat that works good for you. I'm going to sit in Sukhasana with my legs crossed. I like that position and it feels pretty good to my hips, but you take a position in a seat that feels good to you so that you have access to the upper body, to the head, the neck, and the chest. And then once you feel like you've got a nice position of your spine, close your eyes down for a moment. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Notice your forehead and your heart space. And if it feels like your forehead and your heart space are leaning forward slightly, see if you can draw it back just a little bit so that your head, your heart, your hips are fairly in line. Eyes closed or open, totally up to you. But on your next inhale, let your shoulders just lift up to your ears. And as you exhale, just let them melt down. Inhale and let your shoulders lift. Exhale to let them melt down. One more just like that. Inhale, shoulders lift. Exhale to melt down. And now we're going to lift and hold. So as you inhale, lift the shoulders up, and then kind of like you're exaggerating that movement. So kind of pull the shoulders just up a little higher, get that little squeeze in the shoulder muscles, in the side of the neck, maybe even scrunch up your face a little bit. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, let it all drop down. And then we'll do that again. Pull the shoulders up, squeeze, scrunch up the muscles in the neck, maybe even tense up your face a little bit. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, just let it all drop down. Cool. Do that one more time. Draw the shoulders up. Maybe take that inhale, squeeze the muscles, scrunch up your face, let everything get nice and tense, and then take one big inhale. And as you exhale, just let it all drop down. Nice. Move right into that head and neck movement. Inhale, lift your chin up to the sky. Exhale, tuck your chin down to your chest. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. On this next inhale, lift and hold. Take an extra cycle of breath. Inhale, and then as you exhale, lower your chin down towards your chest. Stay here. Take an extra cycle of breath. Awesome. And then bring your head back to a nice neutral position. We're going to drop the left ear over to the left shoulder. And then once it's there, keep light or soft in that position, and then gently nod your head up and down. And then just notice right along your jaw, right down to where your chin meets, and see if you can just invite some softness into that space there. One more nod of your head up and down. And then let your head come to stillness. Ear gets heavy to the shoulder. Maybe close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Left hand is going to find the temples or the side of your head, and then use your hand to just gently help lift the head up to center. Take a nice big inhale. Slow exhale. And then we're going to take that to the other side. So drop your ear towards your shoulder. Think soft position of that head turn, and then gently nod your head up and down. Notice your jaw down to your chin, and if you've got any tension in the jaw, see if you can just encourage a little softness there. Beautiful. One more nod of the head up and down, and then let that nodding come to stillness. Let your ear get soft and heavy. Maybe even close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Hand is going to find the side of the head or the temple, and then gently ease your head back up. And now we're going to switch. We're going to drop our head over to the other side, but now we're going to get a little bit active. So you're going to take your left hand, reach it over and across. So you're holding onto the side of your head, and now you're going to think head pushes into the hand, and the hand creates a little bit of resistance. So you feel a little bit of a firing up of the muscles in the side of the neck, like you're trying to bring your head up right. Take one more moment, just finding that little bit of resistance. And then relax your muscles, release your hand, bring your head to center. Nice. And then take it to the other side. Drop ear to shoulder, reach your right hand up and over, hold on tight. So hand creates a resistance, head pushes into the hand. So find that little bit of muscle action, that little strength in the side of your neck, like you're trying to bring your head up right. One more moment. Relax the muscles in the neck, release your hand, bringing your head back up to center. Beautiful. And then just take one good nod of the head up and down. Inhale, lift your chin up. Exhale to tuck your chin down, take it right into a seated cat-cow. Inhale, lift your chin, lift your chest, arch your back. Exhale, round your back. 2 more cycles of breath here. Inhale as you lift your chest. Exhale to round your back. 1 more breath. Beautiful. And then find a neutral spine. Left hand's going to touch down, right hand's going to reach up alongside your ear, and just take a nice gentle side bend, just to the point where you feel a little bit of stretch through the side body, and then stop there. Take a nice big breath. Feel that bit of space that opens up in the ribs. Slow exhale. 2 more cycles of breath here. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, lift up with a little bit of control. Touch that hand down to the ground. Other hand reaches up. Lean over just to the point where you feel a little stretch through the side body, and then come back to your breath. Take a nice, generous inhale. Slow exhale. One more breath. Beautiful. And then lift up, and we're going to take it right into a seated twist. So right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand behind you. Rotate just a little bit. Take one good breath. And then release and take it over to the other side. Catch your knee, hand comes behind you. Take one good breath. Nice. And then release, come back to center. And then if you've got a blanket or a prop under your butt, take a second to kind of scooch it over and out of the way. And then send your legs out nice and long and give everything a wiggle again, because you may have cut off a little circulation to the toes and the backs of the legs. So just give everything a little swish, a little wiggle. And we're going to come down to the ground. So just make sure that you have your block or your stack of books handy. You could even fold up your blanket. That'll work for a supported bridge as well. So come down onto your back. Take your time as you come down, or come down in a way that feels good and comfortable in your body. And then we're going to take it back to some windshield wipers. So hand resting on the belly, or hands in cactus, whatever works good for you. Take a couple of swishes of the knees side to side. Be soft and gentle. You don't even have to go full range of motion. Just allow a little time to let your hips find a nice rhythm. One more swish of the knees side to side. And then left leg is going to stay down to the ground in a bent knee position. Pull the right knee up to your chest with a loose hold. Take that knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. Take that knee, draw it in circles, go the other way. Awesome. And then we're going to hold on to the back of the leg and take a couple of gentle kicks of the leg up and down. Beautiful. And then set that foot down. We'll take it to the other side. Pull the left knee into your chest with a loose handhold. Take that knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. Take that knee, draw it in circles, go the other way. Let that circling come to stillness. Grab the back of the leg and take a couple of gentle kicks of that foot up and down. Wonderful. And then set that foot down. We're going to toe heel the feet out. Let the knees drop in towards each other. So we're going to lay off the legs for a few, give a little time for those hip flexors to chill out. But now we're going to reach our fingertips up towards the ceiling. So hands at shoulder height, palms facing down toward your knees. And then we're going to spread the fingers nice and wide, and then squeeze the fingers in towards each other. Spread your fingers nice and wide and reach a little energy out through the fingers and then squeeze them in. Spread your fingers nice and wide and then squeeze them in. And now keeping the fingers fairly together, we're going to flick the fingers down like you're reaching your fingertips towards your knees. So here you maybe feel a little stretch in the forearm or the wrist. And then flick the fingers up like you're trying to press your fingertips towards the wall above, behind your head. Flick the fingers down towards the knees. Flick the fingers up. And it doesn't matter if you have full range of motion. You just go to the depth that works good for you. Flick the fingers down towards the knees. Flick the fingers up. And then roll your fingers in. Make light little fists and twirl your wrists in one direction. Twirl your wrists the other way. And then loosen your hand position. And we're going to reach the arms up and overhead. Give a second so they might come a little bit wider so that your shoulders can relax. And then swing your arms out to about shoulder height. Pull the arms together, palms facing in. Flip the palms facing down towards the ground. Reach the arms up and overhead. Circle the arms around just to shoulder height. Pull the hands together, palms face down. Reach the arms up and overhead. Circle them around just slightly. Pull the arms together. And now we're going to take palms flipping up. So palms facing towards the wall above your head or behind your head. Pull the fingertips towards the shoulders. Elbows are reaching up towards the ceiling. Reach the fingertips back up towards the sky. Pull the fingertips in. Fingers touch the shoulders. Reach the fingertips back up to the sky. One more just like that. Pull the fingertips in. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling and then open your arms into cactus or goalpost position. Take a second to make sure your shoulders can get arranged and everything feels good and settled in. And you want to get a sense that your solar plexus and the sternum can just sink heavy into the ground. So if you can find that position there with the sternum or the edge of that top of the ribs sinking towards the ground, and then turn your head gently side to side. One more turn of the head side to side. And then let your head come back to center or back to a still position. Bring your arms into I Dream of Jeannie arms, or that square across the chest. And we're just going to pull the elbows gently side to side. One more pull of the elbows gently side to side. And then we'll release our hands down alongside the hips with the palms facing down. And now toe heel the feet in. So maybe your feet are about hip width distance apart, knees apart at this point, and then maybe the heels are coming a little bit closer to the butt. And then with your feet on the ground, we're just going to bring our awareness down to our toes. So as you inhale, just lift your toes and spread your toes as wide as you can. Exhale and float your toes back down. Inhale, lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can, but now feel the balls of your feet on the floor. And then exhale, float your toes back down. Inhale, lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can. Pay attention to the heels connected to the floor. Exhale, float your toes back down. And now we're going to move to the heels. So as you inhale, lift your heels gently up away from the floor. Exhale and float your heels back down. Inhale and lift your heels up. Exhale to float your heels down. One more just like that. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, float your heels down. So heels, toes, balls of the feet are connected to the ground. And then see if you can just give them a sense of pushing the bottoms of your feet into the ground. So maybe you'll feel your hamstrings or the backs of the thighs fire up. So gently push into your feet, but your tailbone stays on the ground, hip stays on the ground. And then notice that little firing up in the backs of the thighs. Maybe even feel a little firing up in the tops of the thighs, and then let that all go. Let everything be soft. And then we're going to do that again. Push into your feet. Feel the backs of your thighs fire up. Feel the quads fire up just a little bit. And then maybe tune in and notice, you might notice a little action that happens in the hips or in your glutes. And then when you're ready, let it all go. And then we'll just do that one more time. Push into your feet, but everything else stays where it is. So we just get that pushing down sensation. Take one more breath. And then on your exhale, let it go. And now we're going to rearrange the feet so that they feel good. We're going to take some gentle rolling bridges here. So hands down alongside the hips. We're going to start with one pelvic tilt. So as you exhale, press your low back into the ground. So there's that little curl up of the tailbone, and then release. Come back to the natural curve of your back. Exhale, and we're going to curl the tailbone up and then maybe lift it up. So you could slide one hand underneath your butt and then release back down to the ground. Nice. Exhale, curl the tailbone up, and now we're going to come just a little bit higher. So maybe you could slide two hands underneath your tailbone. Inhale and release down. Exhale, curl the tailbone up. Maybe you come up about 3 hands high. So maybe you could slide 3 hands underneath your tailbone. Inhale and release back down. Exhale, roll on up, maybe coming a little bit higher, getting about 4 hands high now. And we want to just find that space available so we'll be able to slide our block underneath. Inhale as you roll back down. On this next one, we're going to exhale, roll up nice and high, a little reach through the knees, and then come down right away. Roll down through the spine. Think upper back, middle back, low back. Hips are going to touch down. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. A gentle rock side to side. And then as you did that work there, how did it feel? Did it feel good to come to that highest height, or did it feel good to stay a little bit low? So if you wanted that really low position, you might choose to just take your little blanket and tuck it right underneath your butt. But if it felt good to come a little bit higher, you're going to take your yoga block, start by lifting your hips up and slide that yoga block underneath your butt, underneath your tailbone at the lowest setting. So it's keeping you supported. There's a nice broad space of support underneath your hips. So we want it under the hip bones, underneath the tailbone, underneath that nice strong structure. If you get here and you feel like that's not quite high enough and you want that extra bit of height, then you might choose to lift your butt, come a little higher, and flip your block onto the medium setting. But if you get there and you feel like that's just a little too extreme, then you might opt to flip back down to the lowest setting. And then only for the tallest of the tall would I say to set it to that higher setting of your block. So I would stick with a lower medium for most of the proportions that I know in this room. So once you've got your setup, you've got something underneath your hips that's giving you a little bit of support, allow your arms to just fall comfortably out at your side. So maybe think anatomical position about 45 degrees away from your side, palms facing up. Give a second to let your shoulder heads relax. Allow your chest to be a little soft and heavy. Take one more moment here and kind of notice your energy level at this point. And if you think you want just a little extra stretch through the front of the hips or where those front hip pockets would be, you're going to think about sliding your right leg nice and long, a light flex in the foot. See how that feels. And then if it feels great and you want just that little extra reach, you're going to reach your right hand up alongside your ear. So we're reaching energetically through the right heel, through the right hand, noticing that front pocket area. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. 2 more breaths here if it feels good. Wonderful. And then if your hand is up and overhead, start by releasing the hand. Soften your right foot, slide your right leg in, pause for a moment, notice, make sure everything feels good. Do you need to rearrange your block or anything like that? And then if all is feeling good and you wanted a little bit more for that left side as well, slide your left leg nice and long, a light flex in the foot, notice how that feels. And then if it feels great to add on, reach that left arm up and overhead, and then a light bit of energetic reach through the left heel, through the left fingertips. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then if it feels good to be here, stay for 2 extra cycles of breath. Nice. And then if your hand is up and overhead, think about softening that hand back down alongside your hips. Soften your left foot, soften your knee, slide that left leg in, and then we're going to push gently into the feet. Lift your hips up away from your block or your blanket or your books, whatever you're using today, And then with a bit of control, roll your spine back down to the ground. Once your hips touch down, pause for a moment, take a breath. And then if it feels good to do so, gently pull both knees back up into the chest. Maybe take a light little rock side to side. Wonderful. One more little light rock side to side, and then we'll take it right into a supine twist. So we're going to hold on to the left knee, let your right leg go nice and long. Take that left knee gently across the body. So just to a point where you feel like your left shoulder is heavy towards the ground, but your right knee is heavy towards the ground on the other side. Take a nice big breath. I said right knee, but I meant left knee. Nice slow breath out. And then right away, gently pull that leg back in and we'll switch right over to the other side. Pull the right knee into your chest. Let your left leg go nice and long. Take that right knee over and across the body. Keep your right shoulder down. Right knee across just to the point where you feel that little bit of sensation, and then pause there, take your breath. Wonderful. Pull the right knee back into your chest. Left knee is going to come into meet. And now we're going to take the knees slightly wide. So think knees towards the shoulders. Think of this as that gentle, modified, happy baby position. And then roll a little side to side. But as you roll a little side to side, you maybe take it just a little bit further, like your shoulder's going to pick up off the ground. And if you could, you would roll all the way over into that fetal position. And we just want to create that little bit of massage across the back of the body. One more little rock side to side. And then as you come back to center, left foot's going to touch down, right foot's going to reach up to the sky, and we're going to give that leg a good shake. So you're just going to let the knee be soft, the foot be soft, and the ankle be soft, and then just shake that leg a little bit in the air. Bring just a little bit of gentle vibration. And think of this as like gravity helping you do a little work here. We're moving lymphatic fluid. We're maybe helping a little bit assist in the blood flow. And then it just feels good sometimes. So you take one more good shake of that leg. And then when you're ready, bend that knee, set it down, pause for a moment, notice. And then we'll take it to the other side. Left leg is going to reach up to the sky. Knee is soft, ankle is soft. Give that leg a gentle shake. One more gentle shake. And then soften that knee, set the foot down, pause for a moment, notice. And then ask your body where would be your best Shavasana. Would it feel good to extend the legs nice and long, finding that traditional shape? Would it feel good to take it into constructive rest, which can be supportive to the low back, knees drop in towards each other? Any other variation with the body. If you feel like you want your legs extended, but you want that gentleness on the low back, you can always take your blanket and fold it up so it's in a little bit of lump underneath your knees. So it keeps a slight bent knee position as you extend the legs nice and long. You could use the blanket as a blanket. You could use it as a pillow underneath your head, and any other thing that gets you comfy, cozy. Take your time, find your way there. Once you feel like you've got a fairly comfortable position with the body, with your eyes open, notice the ceiling above you. Maybe with just a tiny sense of attention, imagine you're pushing the back of your body into the floor. Feel that solidness beneath you. And then let go of that pushing sensation and allow your limbs to get soft and heavy. Soft and heavy in the arms. Soft and heavy in your legs. Eyes closed down if it feels good. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. But if you have to get on with the rest of your evening or things to do, people to see, maybe you start to gently reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Maybe turn your head a little side to side. If you've got your legs in constructive rest, maybe you take your knees and just drop them a little side to side. Invite some windshield wipers in, bring some fluid movement back into your hips. And any other bit of gentle movement that helps you reawaken. If it feels really great to do so, maybe take it into a big good morning stretch like a yawn, arms up and overhead, reach through the toes, take a nice big breath into your body. And then in your own way, at your own time, at your own pace, start to find your way up to a comfortable seated position if you choose to go there. Nice. And then as you come back up to that comfortable seated position, we're going to bring the hands together, clap those hands together, fire them up, get them nice and good and hot. And I should have said this before we started. If you're wearing glasses, take your glasses off, put them somewhere safe, and then bring your hands back together, fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Work out all your frustrations of the day right in between those palms. And then once you feel like your hands are nice and good and hot, we're going to take the heels of the hands to the eyes. Let your eyes rest on the heels of your hands. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Releasing those heels of the hands from the palms, bring your prayer hands right to heart center and Anjali Mudra and just bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And on an exhale, think about letting your shoulders soften, relax your jaw, and maybe think about letting go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you through the rest of your night. And when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you, whom I cannot see at this moment. Happy Wednesday.